My favorite quote today was a girl trying to describe where she was at to another person, and she's like, "Can you see me? I'm wearing a cow hat." I mean, you're identifiable, I guess, that way. First things first, it's bagel time. So we're stopping here at Russ & Daughters. This place opened in 1914, and just stepping inside, you can tell it has that very like classic New York bagel shop look to it. We went for the classic bagel with cream cheese and lox. So it's got a smoked salmon, and it looks like they gave us the works with capers and tomatoes and onions on it. So we'll give it a go on an everything bagel, because when you can choose everything, you gotta go with everything. Wow. As someone who grew up in the Pacific Northwest eating a lot of delightful smoked salmon, that is some of the best smoked salmon I've ever had. Russ & Daughters is an Anthony Bourdain approved place, and I can see why. This is just like beautiful.
It smells pretty good. Those capers are huge. But yeah, it all balances pretty well. And even as someone that's not huge into raw onions, it works on this.
The bagel itself is like nice and crusty on the outside, but like perfectly soft inside. But it's not even the highlight. I think the salmon is, right?
Mm-hmm. So I saw that they had black and white cookies in the window, and I have not had one in New York before, so I had to have one. That lives up to my expectations.
I feel like when we've had black and white cookies before, they haven't been this soft. They're more like a shortbread cookie or something, but these are like cake-like almost. Yeah, I love the duo of the chocolate and the vanilla frosting. It almost tastes like a pound cake with like chocolate icing and vanilla icing, but it's a cookie. It's weird. It's delicious though. Russ & Daughters is right there, and just down the street is our next stop. Right over there. It's nice that the first two stops of the day are on the same street. They're both on Houston Street. It's Houston, not Houston. Don't be a twist like I was the first few days I was here. But we got a late start to the day, and the line is already looking pretty long, which I think that means it's a good thing, right? If it's good enough for the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, it's good enough for us, right?
I was looking at this timeline over here that they have in the window, and Katz is older than Van Gogh's Starry Night and Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Wow. Well, that was an overwhelming experience. They do not make things easy in there. You have to have a ticket. You've got to make sure you get in their right line, not the one that goes outside. And yeah, it's just set up very different from how any other restaurant operates, but it's a very classic experience, I guess, so it's worth it. Katz's Deli has been serving those New York deli sandwiches since 1888. That's incredible. The line actually moved pretty quickly too. It only took us about 10 minutes to get to the front, and then maybe like another 10 minutes once we were inside to actually order. I think that one of the things that makes this place so incredibly iconic is that not only is it like a must-visit deli shop, but it's been featured in tons of movies and TV shows. Probably most notably When Harry Met Sally. There's a very memorable scene where Sally enjoys her time at Katz's. Yeah, there's actually a sign in there that says something like, "You can have what she's having," or something. So yeah, good one, Katz. Good one. I thought these were both sandwiches, but no, one sandwich, and looks like probably some pickles or something in here. So this sandwich is the classic. It's the pastrami on rye Whew, it looks good. Pastrami on rye, and it is $24.95, so probably the most expensive sandwich I have ever purchased, but we're gonna give it a whirl here. Holy cow. I have to say, I don't even know if I like pastrami normally. It's not something I would typically order, but the guy who made my sandwich gave me a little taster, so I already know it's really good. So I think the sandwich is pretty straightforward. It's just like a bunch of meat and some mustard and some rye bread. So I'll give it a go on the smaller end. Already dropping it all over myself. You know, this is not my go-to sandwich. Like, I didn't think I was gonna love this. Not a big fan of mustard. Not a big fan of rye bread. Pastrami is not my sandwich meat of choice, but it really, really works and it's really good. I don't know if it's $25 good, but I actually really enjoy this one, and just like being inside that place felt very much like I was in the movies. It's so iconic, so it's got that going for it too.
I, on the other hand, like mustard and pastrami. Rye bread, take or leave, but this looks really good. Yeah, that pastrami is nice and salty, but like not too salty and chewy. And the mustard's really good. Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Yum, Carly approved. The sandwich was so intense I forgot there were pickles. How are they?
Pretty good. Nice and crispy and dilly and I think garlic.
Like everything you want in a pickle?
Pretty much everything you want in a
I think
pickle.
they make them in-house too.
Yeah, I think they do.
Oh, weird. It looks like they have different kinds even. Right? Like that is not the same kind as that kind.
It's just like a cucumber. No. The other
That
one's
one,
better.
yeah, that one is like stage 1 pickle. It just tastes like a cucumber that they soaked in pickle juice for like 5 minutes. These ones are definitely better. I think the highlight for me is the pickles. They're so good. They're just like the perfect dill flavor. So crunchy and good. This is maybe my favorite pickle I've ever had. While that was a very expensive sandwich, it was really good. So Jeremy and I shared half of that, and between that and the bagel, we are feeling pretty full. So I guess it's a good thing that the next place we've got a little ways to walk. There's a chippery.
Get some fish and chips.
Yeah, well, we got other plans. We got more New York plans than some British food.
That's food.
This place is highly recommended by Jason Schwartzman. So good.
And Indian food.
But again, we're on a mission, and we've had a lot of Indian food while we're here that we haven't shown you. Well, if Solange and Jon Stewart like it, then we should definitely go there. Oh no, we have so much other food to eat. Maybe we'll come back. The Brooklyn Dumpling Shop right behind me is a place that recently opened, and opened to some kind of mixed reviews. But it's an automat, which is a very classic New York thing. So it's a cool throwback, and we're gonna check it out. Automats were this thing of the past in New York City. The first one, I think, was around like 1912, and they're these automated fast food things where you basically pay and it's like a vending machine of food. Commonly like what you would see in like Japan or somewhere like that. But I guess they died out in the 80s and the 90s, and this place, they're like, we're bringing it back. We're bringing back the automat. So far, there have been pretty mixed reviews about this place. People have been saying that there's really long waits for it. Like, it's supposed to be streamlined fast food, and it actually can take quite a while. However, today we came, there was hardly anyone around, and our food was ready within like 5 minutes. So far so good. Let's see how it tastes though. Smells good. I'm gonna try it without any soy sauce. Oh, yum. I mean, it's really good. I like it. It's like a standard pork dumpling, but the flavor is really nice. It's nice and juicy on the inside. And yeah, so far for like $5 for 3 of them, I think this is a good deal, and it's a fun little place. It's cool to experience something of New York City's history that they're kind of like trying to bring back again. So I appreciate that.
It's savory and juicy and tastes like a pork dumpling. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like it has a good pork ratio too.
Yeah.
But we are going to be going to Chinatown soon, so that'll be the true test. Does it stack up to Chinatown dumplings?
We'll see.
Why don't you skateboard? It's backpack Subway time. Carly actually kind of likes the Subway. I wouldn't say likes the Subway, but she's okay with it, and she seems to be pretty cool with New York City, which for me, it's kind of overwhelming. So good on you, Carly. What are those? I've never seen those before. Do other subway stations have them? Am I oblivious? Or is it just 8th Avenue? I don't know, but those are fun. We came through Chelsea because I wanted to see the Empire Diner that was used in Home Alone 2, among other things. I thought that this place was closed. That's what the internet told me. Apparently it is open. However, we have planned more food stuffs, so we're gonna have to skip this one today. But if we should eat there and you've been there, please let us know if it's worth the inside visit. We actually, when planning this video, we were gonna do a whole like filming locations that are also eateries, but several of them were closed. However, this next one, it is a filming location. And if you ask a local, they'll probably tell you that there are better places to get dessert. But Magnolia Bakery, this one specifically, is their original location, and they filmed an episode of Sex and the City here. And right over there, where the line is forming, is where Carrie and Miranda sat outside of this bakery. So we can't sit right outside of it because that's where the line is, but we're gonna get something from inside. They gave us a complimentary tote bag. So we are just gonna get one cupcake to share, but I got more than that. Of course I did. So I feel like whenever they're running low on something and there's only one left of something, that you gotta get it. It's a sign that it's a good thing. So I got the banana cupcake. Looks like it has like a chocolate buttercream frosting. They are known for their cupcakes. They're kind of the place that put cupcakes on the map here in New York City, and I don't know, maybe everywhere. Yeah, I can see opening it that it has like that banana goodness. Honestly, the cupcake is a little dry, but it's good flavor and the frosting's good.
I have to agree that the cake is a little dry, but it tastes good though. And the icing is really nice.
It's a good flavor. I'm glad we went with banana. All right, crack that other one open.
Oh, it looks like a tiny cheesecake.
It sure is. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Not only does it look nice, but we haven't had cheesecake in New York yet, so you gotta do that, right? And why not here?
That is a really delightful cheesecake. Like the blueberries, they seem fresh, I think. And yeah, it's just a very creamy, nice cheesecake.
Oh my god, that is perfect. That is so good. Yeah, it's just so creamy, it's rich. The blueberry topping is perfect. Like, they had a bunch of choices in there. So glad we went with blueberry because it is a delight. And just, yeah, even the little like crust is nice. And we've actually had Junior's cheesecake, which is like the big deal here. Our friend Brian, like last year or the year before, we went for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and he had it ordered through like Gold Belly or one of those, and those were delightful. So comparing those to, like, you know, having it shipped, but I think this is just as good, if not better. So they might not be as great at the cupcakes, but the cheesecake's a delight.
I'm glad that you got the cheesecake because the cupcake was good, but this is a lot better. But we still have more food to eat.
Yeah, we have more food to eat, but we're around the corner from the Magnolia Cupcakes from Sex and the City is an iconic Sex and the City location. So we're gonna go look at that first. And just like around the same block as the Sex and the City cupcake shop, you've got Carrie Bradshaw's apartment. So that's cool to see. Very not out of the way if you want to see some Sex and the City places. You could probably make a whole tour of Sex and the City filming locations just because, you know, it's very iconic and there's so many iconic locations in New York. But that's not for us today. We've got more eating to do. We are just walking around Greenwich Village and walked through the Stonewall National Monument. It's really neat to be here. We're here in June during Gay Pride Month, and it's really just really neat to take it all in right now during this time. You can see like Stonewall Inn is just around the corner, which is where the historic riots that happened in 1969 that really launched the gay pride movement. So it's a really like historically significant area and also just a really cool hip area. I would love to live here. Probably couldn't afford it, but it's totally got my vibes. So while we're in the area, we're gonna celebrate Pride with some ice cream from the big gay ice cream shop. I love the name. I wanted to come here like one of the last times I was here, and I didn't. So I'm glad that I finally got to, because I got one called the Dorothy. It's got vanilla ice cream, dulce de leche, and vanilla wafer like crumbs on top of it. So leave it to me to not take any video before just taking a big old bite and like even biting into the cone and everything. Like, what a monster. First bite getting cone, it's unheard of.
Uh-oh. I broke the cone.
Uh-oh, better eat it all. When you're only a block away from the friend's apartment, you gotta come check it out. It's pretty neat to see in person. Unless you are mids on the show like Jeremy. Is your life fulfilled? You've seen the friend's apartment in person?
Not against it.
You can't come into New York City and not get that iconic New York City pizza, especially because pizza in America really started here in New York City. There are a couple places here on Bleecker Street that are pretty well known. There's Bleecker Street Pizza, which I think like the Food Network is really fond of, and I think people in general here seem to like. However, I wanted to try that classic coal-fired pizza that is like the traditional way that it started here in New York City. So we came just a little bit further down Bleecker Street to John's of Bleecker Street, or commonly I think just referred to as John's Pizzeria. We're gonna try some coal-fired pizza.
I'm kind of taken aback at what the small is, but they don't let you do by the slice here, so that's what we did. It's just a small,
extra large small pizza just for me.
Just a small piece of pizza. It's like half of my head.
It's like the size of your face, basically.
It's got nice sauce. You got that char from the charcoal on the bottom. I didn't get a lot of cheese in that bite. Maybe I need another bite. There we go. Good quality cheese. Yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
I thought these were going to be dainty little pieces with a small, but you get to do the New York pizza fold with it. Oh, the cold fire is really nice. It like makes the crust almost like thinner, but also like a little bit crispier. So it's like that New York style, but it is slightly different from the other pizza that we've had. Really good, really nice. I'm glad we tried this place. I think we made a good choice. I felt very overwhelmed by all of the pizza choices because like a big place that's popular to go to for tourists is Lombardi's in Little Italy. But a lot of locals say it's overrated, it's a tourist trap, and technically, although pizza started there in 1905. I guess they had this like break in the 80s where they weren't there, so it's not the oldest continually operating establishment. So like, I don't know. There's all kinds of weird like deep dives you could go in with New York City pizza, but John's Here has been around since 1929, and it's a classic coal-fired pizza. I don't know that I would say I like it better than the wood-fired, but it's definitely like, this is how pizza started here in the United States, so you gotta try it.
Also, we've gone to this place, Rosa's, in Middle Village in Queens, where we're staying. And it's just wood-fired, but it is pretty good as well if you're in that area.
Yeah, like best margarita pizza ever. Have you been to Lombardi's? Should we go to Lombardi's? I feel like I saw very mixed reviews on it, but I'm curious if you've been, if you would recommend it to us. I guess as far as like Little Italy altogether, like we've had kind of mixed luck with it so far. We went to this place called Da Janeiro, and it was like good Olive Garden. I think Jeremy's was really good, but it was like good Olive Garden, only like $10 more than Olive Garden. So I guess the general idea that locals say like avoid Little Italy, I would say probably rings true. Although we did have Ferrara's, got a nice little cannoli or two, and those were a delight. So I don't know.
All I know is I'm really full, and we ate a lot of food today.
Yes, we did, and Carly got her fair share too. We actually normally split our videos up over multiple days because for this reason, like we are both stuffed. Now we're gonna have to like waddle back to our Airbnb, but everything was really good. I hope that you enjoyed coming along with us to all of the things that we did today. I would love to know if there was anything that stood out to you, like, yes, I've got to try that, of what we tried today. Or if there is another place in New York that you know about that you think we should come check out next time, then please leave us a comment and let us know. And make sure you're subscribed because we are going to do more food stuff here in New York City. So we'll see you soon. We've eaten so much food. I'm not hungry, but we keep walking by these delightful smelling places on the way to the subway, and I'm like, oh, that smells so good. No, we're done.